I gained about 10 pounds of inflammation. I couldn't wear rings. I couldn't wear my rings. And I couldn't breathe. I wasn't digesting anything, fiber, fat. My iron levels were severely low because I wasn't absorbing iron. And meanwhile, I knew that what was happening physically was because of something emotional and spiritual.
Welcome to the Mastery Experience. I'm your host, Francesca Sitma, and we are diving deep into mental mastery. This is where self-awareness meets peak performance. You're going to witness the truth behind personal development, emotional breakthroughs, dissolving triggers, getting into flow state, discovering purpose, and most importantly, mastering intuitive action. And we do this through a process called HypnoBreathwork. This is your community committed to breaking behavior patterns, getting into alignment, pursuing excellence, and self-mastery. Let's do the work. This is the Mastery Experience.
Before we dive into today's episode, it would mean so much to us if you could hit subscribe right below. Your support helps us secure inspiring guests and deliver high quality content. We appreciate it so much. Thank you. This episode is brought to you by Mastery app. Download Mastery for your 7-day free trial today.
Shout out to Huel for sponsoring and partnering with the Mastery Experience. Dr. Mahsa, welcome to the Mastery Experience.
Thank you, Francesca. Excited to be here with you.
We start every episode off with a question from our Mastery card deck. And your gentle question today is, what is a misconception people often have about you?
Ooh, good one. Well, when I was younger, people thought I was stuck up. And they found me intimidating. When I asked what it was that made me intimidating, they said it was my eye contact because I would look directly at them. Wow. And the funny part of it is that I was actually really shy and felt very insecure. So that is one misconception, is that I'm stuck up. But
wow. Oh my gosh. Already so many things are coming up for me right now.
Really?
How has that impacted you? Like, people having that conception of you at an early age, did that change how you showed up in the world at all?
Oh, for sure. For sure. First of all, being an immigrant, English being a second language, already being uncomfortable and feeling like I didn't fit in. And then on top of it, as I made friends, I already had this insecurity or a level of shyness and lack of self-esteem about myself. My voice used to crack. I was always worried about whether or not I sounded like I fit in American society. And in Persian culture, it was exactly the opposite. I was too Americanized. So when I would make friends, if just being myself, if someone felt insecure on their own, or if there's something about me and my realness or my ability to just be blunt about something, soft, but blunt, it made them uncomfortable because there was a lot of superficiality that I noticed, especially in college.
Yeah. I find this already to be really fascinating because in my Bali retreat, that exact sort of insight came up for me, that in 9th grade, I was standing outside school waiting for my mom to pick me up. And this girl came up to me. I know her name. I'm not going to say her name. But she just said, "Oh my God, everyone thinks you're such a bitch, but you're actually so sweet." And I was like, why would anybody think that about me? I was so naive and innocent and at 14. But then the opposite thing kind of happened for me is when she said that, I became kind of stuck up.
Interesting.
It became like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like I leaned into this identity that people were already making of me, and it became a really protective shell. And I mean, it definitely turned into some mean girl behavior in college. But in a breathwork session in Bali, I saw that was the moment that changed things for me and my personality. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. I wish I had adopted that.
No, I don't wish that you did, because then you got to heal and apologize and do all these things from it. But I haven't heard anybody say the word stuck up in so long. And so right when you said that, it reminded me of that. Okay. Can we talk a little bit about your background? Because you're a bit of a personal development junkie.
Obsessed. Obsessed. I make my husband crazy. Are you taking another class? Yet another certification? We've just, set the rule that I am forever a student.
Yes.
Background. Well, since I was a little girl, I just wanted to help people. I wanted to help heal. And I wished I had magical powers. So I used to make little concoctions and, wanted all my magic box sets. And I thought I could climb up the ceiling and I could, walk on water, and I would practice it. And the funny thing is, my father would indulge me. Oh yeah, you got a little further up. It was pretty cute. And when I was little, probably by the age of 1 is when the revolution happened in Iran, and the Shah, the king, was overthrown. And here we are today, 47 going on 50 years, my entire lifetime, a country taken and possessed and terrorized and oppressed. And it's almost as if my soul has been living in 2 different places. On one hand, as a child, I was so excited and to start a new life here, and felt very blessed to have been able to leave. And that was the sacrifice of my father, really, because he wanted his wife to have freedom. He wanted his daughters to have freedom, and he was willing to give up his own comfort and leaving family and start from scratch. He left 2 companies, one which would have been very successful because it was telecommunications at the time. And he came here and started washing dishes and built an auto stereo alarm business. I mean, he just did whatever it took. His dream was to be a doctor. And so I kept that in the back of my mind. I never let go of the fact that they gave everything up for me. They left their very tight family unit just so my sister and I can have whatever we wanted and do whatever we wanted. So I kind of continued to have this, side dream of being a doctor, working with people, but I was heavily into the arts. I used to write poetry, and as shy as I was, I love to dance. And when I say shy, it's more like in society, in front of other people. But that wasn't really me. It was what was forced upon me subconsciously because of my environment that told me to cover up. You weren't allowed to dance. You sure the heck couldn't, put on shorts and run around and climb trees. I did it anyways. And I always had my hair short. I remember my dad brought me rollerblades from the US, and I would rollerblade up and down the street. But I probably got out right before anything bad could have happened to me. When we came here, I saw how hard my parents worked. I mean, children of immigrants are working hard, and I wanted to do my part. So good grades, overachiever, started working at the age of 15, held at least 1 job all through high school. College, I probably had 3 jobs while going to college. And I wanted to go to NYU and major in dance. I was in a professional dance company at the time while I was going to Davis. And my dad reminded me, well, that's just a hobby, because he wanted me to have better. He wanted me to have a career that would be fulfilling, and also financially, I would always be safe. So I kind of gave up my dream, even though I was very involved in dance and choreography, and started a nonprofit for aesthetics. And it was hard to let go. I did it anyways because I felt a sense of responsibility, not just to my parents, but to everybody else who didn't have a chance. So, and I liked it. I enjoyed helping people. Unfortunately, I didn't like Western medicine because I began to get very ill from the age of 17. With internal bleeding, all sorts of female-related stuff, and tensis on the ovary, later on kidney issues, you name it. Not to mention that in the time I went from high school to college, fell absolutely in love. He passed away. So now we had grief and loss on top of the physical ailments and me trying to push it all down and just keep going. So eventually my body just couldn't. So I had to take time off. And during the time I took off, I realized all the medication I was just being given with no resolution, no really digging into what was actually going on. You know, in a couple of days, I'm seeing Gabor Mate. I'm doing his workshop. I just think he's amazing. He is the one person I found who talks about compassion and in the health place, in the healthcare system, because that didn't exist. When you're young and you know nothing about your body and everything is falling apart, you trust the doctor. And whatever they're giving you, you just take it. And that was me. I just took everything blindly until it made me sicker than I used to be. So that was, I believe, a gift. Everything that happens, I believe, is a gift, even if it's horrific. If that didn't happen, I wouldn't have been asking and searching in my mind, what's my purpose? What's the answer? I want to help. I still want to do my part. And unfortunately for me, it came through pain, illness, loss, and grief, and then a freak accident, which left me debilitated. And that's how I went from popping pills to, okay, nothing is working. None of these pills are working anymore, to looking at Eastern medicine, looking at meditation, tantric, yoga, and chiropractic, acupuncture, Ayurveda, you name it. So now I went from one side to the other, still have respect for Western, but I wasn't just relying on a pill to fix it for me. I began to understand how my body worked. I recognized I had major PTSD from everything that happened. And little by little, I began to heal it.
I start every morning with breath work and meditation. I'm immediately in a creative flow state, and I get on my computer and I start banging out work. The next thing I know, it's already lunch and I haven't even eaten breakfast. Shout out to Huel for making sure that I'm still hitting my protein goals, because they have these delicious, ready to drink meals packed with 35 grams of protein, 7 grams of fiber. We have 27 different vitamins and minerals. My favorite part, you guys, no artificial sweeteners, and it comes in so many delicious flavors, including this chocolate, peanut butter, and my personal favorite, the iced coffee. And if you're looking for something where you can add your own fruits and veggies to it, then check out the Huel protein. All the same nutrients, but you can make it a little bit creamier, a little bit thicker. Shout out to Huel for sponsoring the Mastery Experience, and you can use our exclusive 15% off code. That's Huel.com/mastery. And Huel is actually now in Targets near you. So check them out. Shout out to Huel for supporting the Mastery Experience. This episode is brought to you by Mastery, built for high performers pursuing greatness. In just 20 minutes each morning, reprogram your subconscious mind for self-awareness and peak performance. We use HypnoBreathwork, breathwork, hypnosis, and visioning for extreme mental clarity and manifestation of your dreams. Download Mastery app and start your 7-day free trial today.
It's such an inspiring story, and it's interesting because, you know, I do HypnoBreathwork every morning, obviously, and I was thinking about where I wanted our conversation to go today and what I wanted you to share with the audience. And the biggest piece that was coming through for me was cultural conditioning. How does cultural conditioning impact our decisions, our personalities, our life path? And there was a few that you said that I think are really relatable. And one is, you thought that you were shy, or you were presented externally as shy because you were confined and restricted in so many ways from the culture, but that wasn't actually true to your soul and who you are. And I think that's really powerful. And anyone who feels some kind of disconnection because they're behaving in that way, but maybe they want to be more extroverted, maybe they want to dance, I think that's something interesting to explore to get more connected with your authentic self. The other one that a lot of children of immigrants will relate to is that when your parents make a massive sacrifice like that, and when they transition to coming to America to give you more opportunities and have to start over and are living in survival and their nervous system is in a constant state of threat, they want you to become a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer.
Exactly. You said it.
They want you to have financial security. They want you to have safety. They want you to have the opportunities that you didn't have, but that doesn't mean that those careers are in alignment with your soul. And that requires you to heal some of the generational trauma that's been passed on and to have the courage to live your truth. Now, once you started, I wouldn't say that I think that you merge worlds, you know, because you're very science-based, but then you obviously have the holistic part of you and you know all of these different tools in the kit. And what has that journey been like for you to kind of serve people where you know that a lot of the physical ailments and discomforts that they're going through could have emotional roots?
Oh my gosh. So after 16 years of practicing chiropractic, I just closed my practice. And the reason for closing my practice isn't that I don't love chiropractic as a modality. I just no longer found that it was the end-all cure-all. Mm-hmm. I never did, really, honestly. Mm-hmm. It was a stepping stone for me. Mm-hmm. If I could have had chiropractic, Ayurvedic, you name it, holistic, naturopath as a degree, I would have had all of that. Yeah. It just would have taken a few more years. But what happened, Francesca, was beginning of COVID, and actually a little before, 2018, I started seeing the problem other than whatever they were telling me the problem was. It was almost like my perception, my intuition was getting heightened. Mm. And since I was young, I would have these intuitive hits. Mm-hmm. When I was much younger, it was at a point where if I touched someone, I would get visions. And it scared me. Here I was, getting prepared for med school, and I mentioned it probably a couple times, and maybe my dad brushed it off or something. I never said anything to my mom, actually, recently. She was like, why didn't you tell me you had these things happen? Maybe I would have helped you. Mm. There was no support in kind of that woo-woo esoteric stuff. Mm-hmm. But it was very much a part of my life since I was a kid. So I started hearing these voices tell me there's more, something's changing. Look for something more. And you're going to have to do the uncomfortable, which is to move from your hands to your voice. Because as much as I enjoyed and wanted to share about life, about my culture, which I loved, every time I did, this fear would set in and my voice would crack. And I felt like, nobody wanted to hear from me because I was made to believe that my voice didn't matter. So with chiropractic, it was very similar. I felt like I would be judged for wanting to let go. Mm-hmm. I felt like the profession itself, I was letting the profession down in a way. But I was no longer fulfilled, and I didn't feel like I was really helping people with just giving them an adjustment. Now, you know from Stephanie that some of the work I did with AK was to figure out what was the body was missing nutritionally or what organ was suffering. But even that wasn't enough. And so fast forward, right around COVID, this guy calls me on Facebook. Like, who is this man calling me? It's Peter Goldman. And he says, check out my program, Zone Technique. I'm like, who is this guy? He's a New Yorker, this guy from Brooklyn, and he's a tough guy, jiu-jitsu fighter. I'm like, what is this guy doing? What is Zone Technique? Finally, after an hour-long conversation, I said, I'll take a look at it. And the one word he said that made me interested was, he said, it's metaphysical. And during COVID, while I had my 8-month-old baby and 2-year-old daughter, I studied metaphysics, got my second bachelor's overnight, not overnight, but at night. And so I was interested. I was curious. I didn't do it for anybody but myself. I found that studying metaphysics, getting deeper into meditation was helpful for me. Yeah. And when he said, this is a metaphysical technique, well, now he had me. And as I looked into it and I practiced it more and more, I started to see that mind, body, spirit connection come forth in my chiropractic practice. It still wasn't enough, though. There was still something missing. So in comes HypnoBreathwork. Now we're having people engage in a somatic experience. They are actually participating in their own healing. And I'm still able to tap in. I'm still able to touch and maybe put something in there. So I found that I'm not really being true to myself having a chiropractic office anymore. When someone comes and says, "Hey, Doc, my neck hurts. Can you adjust it?" And I'm thinking, oh, actually, that problem is coming from childhood where you da-da-da-da-da-da, and you probably feel like lack of self-worth. So let's dig into it. That wasn't working. I tried it for about 4 years, and then I decided it's time to let go.
Yeah. And I'm so proud of you for doing that too, because I remember when it came up.
You do, don't you, Bali?
You were like, my intuitive action step is to close it. And I remember just the nerves or fear, you know, like
There's
doubt in your voice and your energy. But we could all feel that that was in alignment for you, that there was something more, that there was something bigger, and that you were meant to start stepping on stages and using your voice more. When you joined the certification, I'm just having flashbacks of you in your sessions.
Oh my gosh, Francesca.
It was meaningful for me because you're so well studied and you've done so many different modalities, and it was so impactful for you. So can you remember your most, I guess, effective or the biggest breakthrough that you've had in a HypnoBreathwork session?
Well, of course, in the beginning, you did an inner child one, that certification. Every breathwork session I've ever done with you has been miraculous. But oh my gosh, you did not let anything go when we were in France.
Oh my God, I forgot about France.
How can you forget about France? Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Francesca.
Yeah, you're right. That was crazy.
France was transformative. France literally changed my entire body because I had a complete life review. That was 2-hour session? It felt like 2 hours of breath work. It was intense. You brought out grief I was still holding on to, anger, resentment, abandonment, fear, terror, people pleasing, all of it. And then I have all this stuff show up for me, and I can't wait to come and share, because my intuitive action was to go and talk. I wanted to share with my husband. I had to talk to my mother. I was going to, change the practice, all the things. And I came back and there was no room to integrate.
I didn't know that.
Something went down while I was gone. And so my husband wasn't available to receive. I couldn't talk to anybody about it. And what happened was everything got shut into my body. And I knew it was stuck in my body and I needed to pull it out. But no matter, I did breath work every single day. I was working out. I was trying to find a way to heal it, integrate. Couldn't. So what happened? I started blowing up. I started swelling up. I gained about 10 pounds of inflammation. I couldn't wear rings. I couldn't wear my rings. And I couldn't breathe. I wasn't digesting anything, fiber, fat. My iron levels were severely low because I wasn't absorbing iron. And meanwhile, I knew that what was happening physically was because of something emotional and spiritual. I just couldn't do it anymore. And I was going to close the practice by the end of the year. But instead, October, I said, nope. It's happening right now. I can't do it anymore. I'm going to die. I feel like I'm going to die. So I shut everything down and went inward. And little by little, I started to recognize all the things. I had a conversation with my mom, multiple conversations with my mom. My husband and I went back into therapy, except this time, it's not only group therapy, meaning couples therapy, but he is going to therapy.
Amazing.
And when we have sessions, it's with 2 therapists. his and mine. This was really my gift to him so that he could feel that we could communicate in a safe environment, and also a gift to me so that I can feel that I can be heard.
Yeah.
Because up until then, if there was pain, I was still pushing it down. If there was an emotion, a strong emotion coming up, I still felt like my role as a wife and mother was to push it down and keep peace. So all of this was stirring up, and then it just caused me to blow up, literally blow up.
Wow.
And it's been crazy ever since.
My goodness. I had no idea that that's what was going on.
Yes.
I'm going to invite you to, because so what happened in France, just for context for the audience, is it was a level 2 hypnobreathwork training, more about personal branding and speaking and book launches. However, I took you guys through the most intense hypnobreathwork session of all time. And it was really tapping into every emotion. It was like a free for all. And then on top of that, you were on these vibration sound healing beds that just had this extra technology, and lights were going on. It was like you were hallucinating. It was a really, really intense experience. And then, I mean, all 4 of you, I think within the first 5 minutes were like wailing. It was insane.
It was insane.
I did that session again for the level 2 a few months ago. And I mean, they were like, dude, are you serious? Like, what was that? But it just shows you how much emotion we're holding in our body that we're not aware of, that we consciously think that we've healed, that lives deep down. And I do think it's a good note and how important the integration is, and making sure you guys have, enough space to journal, to share with your loved ones, to have the conversation so that it's fully processed and it's released from your body. So with that being said, I am going to be taking you through a hypnobreathwork session now. I'm going to go a lot more gentle on you. And maybe it'll be an extension of France so that you can see what the next level looks like when that's all processed and integrated. Unless there's anything more specific that you want me to focus on.
I don't know. You did some amazing things in France, as painful and intense as it was. It brought everything that needed to get done up and resolved. So let's see what you got.
Okay, I'm going to use my intuition on this one. Let's do it. Dr. Mahsa, how are we feeling post hypnobreathwork?
Well, I'm vibrating right now, actually, Francesca. I'm vibrating. Oh, that was intense.
When we started the session, I sort of had an intention of where I wanted to go, but then I intuitively felt to ask you how your heart was doing. And what came up for you?
You're so good at that stuff, aren't you? What came up for me was actually really sweet. For the first time, because I absolutely think the result of what took place with you in France was so unbelievably intense and life-changing that for the first time in this session, I saw myself as a young girl just laughing and smiling. Just like she was just glowing in my heart. She was as if she was the little girl who never went through any pain. She was just playing in my heart when you said that. And I don't know if you saw, I don't know what I look like to you, but what I felt was intense energy surging through my body. I felt like I couldn't stop shaking. I felt like I was shaking. You asked me if I was cold. I felt cold, but I was just shaking. Except this time, when I was shaking, it wasn't from fear. It wasn't from past trauma. It was a buzzing. It was a intense frequency, just as if I was in the biggest light. And that's what it felt like.
It sounds like an energetic upgrade, which is perfect because I started to take you through seeing your second book coming out, seeing a TED Talk, seeing your women's group come to life. And how did that look and feel?
It feels really good. It feels really good. There's a level of, when my daughter says, "Mommy, I'm nervous," or "I'm scared," I say, well, actually, another word for that is excited. So instead of using the word, "Oh, I'm nervous," I'm a little bit worried, because I'm not worried. I am excited. There's nothing wrong with having a little bit of that buzzy feeling, but it's not a sense of accomplishment. It's a sense of, I'm here to serve, but this time out of joy and not an obligation. It doesn't feel like this pressure of having to give to the point of empty. It comes from fullness.
That's so perfect. I think my last cue for you was to see this next version, but to see it with peace.
Yes. It felt really good. It felt really good. The book I wrote, thanks to you, it wasn't what I thought I was going to write. I mean, it's always been in me. I was working on a different book when we were in Bali, but this book just came. My practice was called Empowered Chiropractic, and the book is titled I Am Empower. Not empowered, but empower. And each one of those letters, EMPOWER, good thing I can spell, stands for something. And the I Am is part of a whole I Am series. I Am being the universe, God, the divine in all of us. And that's what this book is about. The book has stories from my childhood, breakthroughs, and what, at the end, my conclusion of the fact that we all have the ability to tap into that divinity within us. That's our empowerment. And also that we have it in us to empower others.
Beautiful.
Just like you have done for me. And so as I close the chapter of my practice, I wrote this book. And it felt really good to write it. It is for any woman, any little girl who's ever felt disempowered, ever felt that they couldn't just be themselves. Culturally, societally, just in their relationships, any woman who's ever felt like they've lived in a cage. And because I did many times. And I feel that the panther, as my husband likes to call me, the Persian panther, has finally broken out of her cage, and she is now in the jungle. And I feel very free. Yes, I feel very free. Yes.
Good. Tell us a little bit about the women's group coaching that you have coming on.
So with this new type of practice, as we were talking about blending all the tools, I have started a program called Love Redefined, and it's for high achieving women who want to up level. And they see themselves, they have the career, they have the family, they've done some of the work, kind of like a past version of myself. And they just can't get there, and they want someone to guide them. And so I like to be their mind, body, and spirit guide, their spiritual mentor.
Perfect. Yes.
And through this program, we're going to take where they're at, what their struggles are, and work on that with all the modalities. And then we're going to look at their health and their well-being as well. So I'm going to bring in the functional nutrition and some of the zone technique as well. And then fully embodying their feminine self, their divine feminine. Because one of the things that you have continuously reminded us of is really tapping into that femininity, which I recognize because of my circumstances, because of everything I was striving to achieve, not just for myself or family, etc. I really had to take a masculine role.
Yeah.
And this is something that I'm kind of done doing.
Yeah, good.
We all have a bit of feminine and masculine in us, but I would like to be 90% in my feminine and 10% in my masculine.
Beautiful. Well, I know that it's going to be a transformational program, and I'm so excited for you to launch that and the fulfillment that you're going to get and the breakthroughs that they're going to get. So where can people find you if they want to join or they want to learn more?
Well, they can go to the website, drmahsa.com, and schedule a call with me and we can discuss. And we have an upcoming retreat actually here in San Diego, middle of July.
Great.
So there'll be lots of fun and hypnobreathwork as well as dance. And maybe you'll come, Francesca.
Oh, maybe I'll be here. We'll see. Amazing. We will link all of that in the show notes. And if anybody wants to experience a session like Dr. Mahsa just experienced, I would recommend the Surrender Hypnobreathwork that is under the growth topic on Mastery app. Dr. Mahsa, thank you so much for being here and sharing your light.
Francesca, appreciate you.
This episode is brought to you by Mastery app. Download Mastery for your 7-day free trial today.
Shout out to Huel for sponsoring and partnering with the Mastery Experience.